So I was called to diagnose this vehicle, and this is Mazda CX-5 2019. This is the issue with it. You can see all the lights, all the Christmas lights are on, but the vehicle drives and does everything. It moves and it does everything, but the problem is the whole network is shut down, and it could be from one control unit. The instrumental cluster is not working, nothing, the AC itself is not working, nothing is working. And the moment you shut it down, you can't start it again. And even it's not shutting down, now it is off and it's not starting again. So you can see the whole system is off, and now it's not even starting. So I'll put my machine on it and diagnose it and see which of them is having an issue, because now the car even can't start anymore. So this is why the client brought the car to me to drive it for this problem to occur. And it is raining, so it could be a water damage issue. So it could be that water gets to one of the control units. So what I'll do now is I'll scan the whole system and see which of the network is down. So this is where you have to use a scan tool with a topology so that you can know where the actual networks are. So I'll start with my, no, I'm not going to use the IM. I'm going to use the think tool that I have to start the diagnosis. Then I'll know where the actual problem is, or which of the network that is having that problem. So stay tuned. So now, after parking the car for a while, it is now running, and I'm trying to scan if I'll be able to get access to the vehicle, and it looks like it has taken a long time and I'm not able to get any access to the vehicle. So this means I have to enter it manually or enter into the vehicle manually. So I'll do that. I'll enter the VIN manually, then scan the system and see. That means when it happens this way, if the VIN number is in the control unit and I can't communicate with it, then that means the control unit is off the line. So what I'll do is I'll try and input the VIN number and see the system that I can scan. So you can see the scan tool is giving me network error. So that means it couldn't do the work. So what I'll do is I'll enter it manually. So now I've input the VIN and I'll go to scan and see if ignition is on. I know there's not going to be any communication. So I'll just leave the car alone and wait for the rain to stop. Then I'll connect my scope to it and see how bad the network is. Then I'll know what to do. So with the manual selection is now, so I'll select by vehicle, and it is CX-5. So CX-5. Then maybe as of 20, let me see, 2.5. Then maybe let me choose any of them, and project and Z2, or then all-wheel drive, then or let me see if this one is going to try to enter into the system. Let me see the feed I'll be getting. So this looks like the whole vehicle network is down. If this machine is not able to enter, I'll try the IM and see if I'll be able to communicate with it. Okay. So I think with this method there, I'll be able to enter into the system. Then I'll scan it and see the modules that I'll be able to communicate with. So I'm hoping now I'm able, because I selected by vehicle. Yes, so I'm able to enter into the system. So now what I'll do is I'll try and do smart scan or scan it. So you can see we have two CAN system. It has a high speed CAN and a mid speed CAN. So this is the things on the mid speed CAN and these are the things on the high speed CAN. This is what I want. So I'll just do a smart scan to see the unit that I'll be able to communicate with. So let me wait for it to communicate with it, and the ignition is on. You can see that the ignition is on. So I'll try and see if I'll be able to communicate with any of the modules. So if I'm not able to communicate with any of the modules on the mid speed CAN, then that means the problem is from the mid speed CAN. So I have to start disabling the mid speed CAN one by one. And this is why I like topology, but I also want me to buy Ultra or their latest tool so that I can get the topology. But when it comes to Think Dark, Top Down, and Launch, they all have the topology. So this kind of diagnosing is good. It will help you to know. So as at now, I've not been able to communicate with any of the modules on the mid speed CAN, on the high speed CAN. So that means my main problem is on the high speed CAN. So if I'm diagnosing anything, I have to go to the high speed CAN. Then you can see another tool, another scan is successful because it is on the mid speed CAN, and none of the units on the high speed CAN is able to communicate with my diagnosing machine. So it tells me that the problem is on the high speed CAN. This is the information that I need. So now I know where to attack. I know that when I'm attacking any of the units, I'm attacking the ones on the mid speed CAN. So it could be from the ABS, PCM, any of the mid speed CAN. So now what I'll do is, because I know this now, I'll wait for the rain to stop, then I'll put my scan tool on the mid speed CAN, because normally if they don't have any gateway, both the mid speed CAN and the high speed CAN comes on the diagnosing the breakout box or the diagnosing DLC. So with that one, what I'll do now is I'll wait for the rain to stop, then I'll set up my scope and check the high speed CAN and also the mid speed CAN, or I'll wait for a while and come and scan the vehicle again and see the actual problem with it. Then I will know what to do, because with this I'm definitely going to check my high speed CAN on my wiring diagram. Then from there I know what to do. So continue from here. So now I'll wait for the rain to stop, then I'll continue. I scan with the IM also to see if I'll be able to communicate with other modules, but it looks like the IM is not able to communicate with the PCM. So what I'll do is I'll just cancel it and try and use the manual manual entry. Or I've scanned this vehicle before with this IM, so I'll go to history and check the VIN. So let me just cancel. Let me go to history, because from 1 to 2, if it is a new model, it's supposed to work quickly. So let me check CX5. So here is the vehicle CX5. So let me enter into it. So I'll just wait for it to finish. So now diagnose and go to auto scan and scan the whole vehicle and see no response. Wow. So no response means there is no communication between them. But with this one, I'm able to communicate with the blind spot, and I'm able to communicate with the electronic which is on the mid speed CAN. So I'm able to communicate with the real module. So the blind spot, left blind spot, wow, I'll check. And also I'm able to communicate with the right blind spot. That means I'm able to communicate with the blind spots. Yeah, I'm able to communicate with one. This is one thing I hate about Autel. Since they brought a new update, you can see that now when you are scanning, normally first it will show only the control unit that you're able to scan, but now it will show every control unit that it thinks is on the vehicle. Then it will just be writing no respond or not scan. So with this one, you can see I'm able to scan the 2 blind spots, and I'm able to scan the real sim. So I'm able to scan 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm able to scan 4 modules, but on the other one I was able to scan only 2 modules. So now let me check the fault in the blind spot. So invalid data received from electronic control module, which is the PCM, powertrain and anti-lock braking system. So now I'm able to communicate with one unit on the mid-speed can. So let me check the other ones. The other ones is not on the mid-speed can. Okay, so let me see what I can do about it. Let me move out from this. Then all I need now is a scope. So with this one, as I select the higher year, which is as of 2021, now I'm getting the blind spot monitoring both left and right on the mid-speed can. So that's why I was able to scan it on the IM. So on the mid-speed can, that means the blind spot is on the mid-speed can. So I'll wait for the rain to come down, then I'll continue the diagnosis. Oh, okay, so now the AC is working, and you can see that as the AC is working, now I'm able to scan the unit. Now the issue on the CAN network is out, so now I'm able to scan the units on the mid-speed CAN. So I'll let it finish the scanning, and now you can see the AC is working. So the moment it happens this way and all the malfunction goes off, that means if I start the vehicle, it should start. So now the vehicle is running. So I'll let it scan the whole system, then I'll see what to do. So now I'm able to scan all these modules, and let me go to diagnosing plan, and all of them is full of communication issues. Like most of them are reporting they can't communicate with this unit, they can't communicate with this unit. So it's full of communication issues. All of them are U codes. So I'm not going to erase it now. What I'll do now is I'll go back and use the VIN and see if I'll be able. So the reason why I'm able to communicate with the blind spot was because they are on the mid-speed can. So if they were to be on the high-speed can, like, I'll not be able to communicate with them with the IM. So let me go back, and because the vehicle is still running, so let me go back and use the intelligent diagnosis to see if I can pull out the VIN, because now I'm able to communicate with the PCM. And if I'm able to communicate to the PCM, then I should be able to get the VIN, and voila, I'm getting the VIN. Then that means the communication is back on board. So my problem is, what control unit does this? Which of the control unit brings the whole network down? So this is where I come in. This is where I have to find the actual control unit which brings the unit down. So I'll rescan it again and see if I'll get the right topology for the unit. Then after that, so it's the same. You can see they are a bit different from the one that I chose first, but they are the same thing. So I'll go to Smart Scan to scan the whole system. Then we continue with our diagnosis to find the actual problem. I'm done scanning the whole vehicle. So I will go and learn on the wiring diagram whilst it is raining so that I can be able to identify the issues. So now the rain is over and I've gone for my tool to check the can wave, and you can see even though I've not turned on the ignition. So let me turn on the ignition and you can see how bad the can wave form is. And I like it this way because the moment it happens this way, it will help me to identify the issue. So this is on a mid-speed can, and you can see on my breakout box, the blue light is on, which is for pin 14, which is can low. So now let me find for the mid-speed can, which will be on pin 13. So you can see this is my mid-speed can. That's where I was able to communicate. So 13 and 3. So you can see how the mid-speed can is okay. The mid-speed can is okay, but when it comes to the high-speed can, both can high and can low look miserable. So now I'll just start with my disconnection. I have to disconnect sensor by sensor to make sure that I find the actual unit which is causing the can to misbehave this way. So I'll continue with the diagnosing and start disconnecting the sensor. So anytime I disconnect one, I'll come and check. But for my mid-speed can, it is okay. That's why my scan tool was able to communicate to the mid-speed can. So it looks like one of the control units is pulling the signal high or is disabling the signal. And this is the difficult part because you have to disconnect all the control units on that high-speed can so that I'll be able to work with it. But first I'll start from the front ones and I'll know what to do from there. So now I've disconnected the ABS and the PCM and I'm still having the same problem. So I'll go ahead and disconnect some of the units inside the vehicle to see if the problem will be solved. So after several connect and disconnect, you can see the can line is crazy and everything is out of order. But I came here to disconnect this sensor. This socket, the moment I take the socket out, everything, you can see now the can line is okay and the lights are off. So what I'll do now is I'll start the vehicle. If it starts, then I have to trace and find where this cable is going to, and I'll know what to do. So came in here to disconnect this can junction, and it looks like the can is a bit okay. So I'll keep on checking and see why or what connects those can lines, and I'll check it from there. So after disconnecting that can junction down there, I'm able to start the vehicle. So what I'll do now is, as the vehicle is running now, I'll scan it and see the modules that I'll be able to communicate with. So the ones that I'm not able to communicate with, then I'll attack that one. And even when I check my can line, it doesn't look all that okay because you can see how high the can low is and it's not perfect enough. But for now, I'll scan it and see the modules that I'll be able to communicate with. The ones that I'm not able to communicate with, then I'll know how to attack them. And can diagnosing is the most difficult thing to do because of the location of the modules. And normally they'll tell you to take out the fuses so that you know the actual module which is causing the resistance. Sometimes it could be a wiring issue or sometimes it could be any other issue. So I'll check it and check those can junctions over there and see the modules that I'll not be able to communicate with. Then I'll try and fix it or disconnect it and plug in back the socket and see if it will work. So now I'm able to diagnose it. So what I'll do is I'll run my diagnosis, and I'm hoping it is nothing related to the BCM or the engine control module or anything. So I'll scan the system and erase all the fault code in the system. Then From there, I'll be able to know the unit that the system is not able to communicate with. From there, I can do a proper diagnosis. So let me go to Smart Scan. So you can see on the Mi SpeedCan they have the blind spots and other things. So I'm having a lot of fault code. So I'll let it finish scanning, then I'll erase all the fault code. Then I'll see the modules that I was not able to communicate with. Then from there I'll know what to do. And it's scanning quickly. So I'll let it run a while so that I can charge the battery. And you can see my CAN line also. So my CAN line doesn't look good at all. Although I'm able to communicate with the module, I'm not getting the exact, let me change my time base. I'm not getting the exact thing that I have to get. So I'm reducing my time base and see time. So I'm expanding it. You can see the CAN line is not good at all. Let me pause this. Let me bring the trigger down to get a trigger on it, and you can see my CAN line is not good at all. So I'll let it finish scanning, and it is done scanning. So I have to shut the vehicle off, turn on the key, and erase all the fault code. I don't want to watch the fault code because there are too many fault codes. So I'll just be erasing the fault code, the ones that wouldn't go on. So whenever you hear the click, that means the relay the VCI is switching between mid speed and high speed CAN. So when it switches to the RBCM, the rear BCM, it will also so you can see, you hear the click and it moves back to high speed CAN. Speed CAN, you see how good it looks. This is the mid speed CAN. This shows that there is communication going on it. And on the high speed CAN with the same time setting. And on the high speed CAN, you can see how bad the communication looks like. And you can see with the same time settings. So you can see both of them. So I have to still search for what is causing this problem. So I'm still working on it, and it's taking much more time. So even though the CAN wave looks like this, I'm able to scan the system. And let me do Smart Scan and see the issues that I'll be getting. Then let me see what I can do about it. So I'm still scanning the vehicle, and now you can see the CAN communication. So let me change the time base to 2 milliseconds and see. Okay, so you can see there are packets of data going through, or just that the waveform looks a bit bad. So there's communication on this line. So what I have to do is I have to check which unit is causing the whole problem. So that unit down there, what I'll prefer to do is either I'll disconnect it and rescan the system and see. So now these are the units I'm able to communicate with. I'm not able to communicate with 7 modules. So I'll erase all the fault code and scan it again. So let me see the common thing all of them are not communicating with. We feel a high speed CAN bars issue, 4x4 initialization fail. So lost communication with power steering. All of them are complaining. So let me go back, quick erase, and see the issues that I'll be facing. And then you can see when I increase the time base, you can see the data packet that is going on. So I'll wait for them to finish erasing the fault code. Then I'll find the actual problem, rescan it and find the actual problem which is causing. So now that I can communicate with it, I'm sure if I start the vehicle, it will start. So I have to wait for it to finish erasing all the fault code. Then I'll start the vehicle. And it looks like there is no much fault code in the system. So let me go back and start the vehicle and scan it again and see the fault code that I'll be getting. The vehicle is running okay. The data packet is okay. So let me do another scan and see the modules that I'll be communicating with. Then I'll know what to do. So now I'm done scanning the whole vehicle. So let me check the reports. Let me go to diagnosing plan. And invalid data received from the instrumental panel, which is from the mid speed. Ignition is on. Then lost communication with the radio display, then the lane bars A. Then the PCM is reporting engine performance, timer off, lost communication with front gear, that's not important. Then the airbag, passenger side inflator curtains open, and so I'll let it run for a while, then I'll see if the fault code will come out and I'll know what to do from there. So now after everything, I tried to check the resistance and I'm having almost 60 ohms resistance, so that means for the resistance it's okay. So I can't judge by, so it's plus or minus 5, and with this resistance it's okay. So I still have to continue disassembly. I have to disassemble the whole unit, entire unit, till I get a correct CAN wave. When you drive through the rain to check if the CAN communication issue you're having is gone, and you adjust your breakout box, then you drive through the rain to check if the CAN communication is okay, because whenever it's being driven in the rain, that's where the issue comes. So you drive to check and see if everything is okay now, and to the look of the CAN network, it looks okay now, so keep on trying. So now after several hours and several days now, I came to see this junction. The last time the socket that I took out for the CAN line to be okay. So if I just plug in this to the junction, then you can see the CAN wave. You can see the CAN wave. The moment I plug it in, it will go haywire. So you can see it goes haywire, and you can see even the LED light has turned on for the CAN lines, which means there is a feed going there. So the moment I take it out, it's okay now. So what I'll do is I'll test from pin to pin to see which of the pin is causing that issue. So I'll do that test whilst you guys watch. You can see this light turns on, and because they are junction, all this side is bridge and all this side is bridge, and you can see both the pins are bridge. So what I'll do is, because they are bridge on the same line, I'll just be plugging pin to pin, and I think it's only 3 wires on that line. So you can see it's turning on the test light. So I'll just plug in this to see what will happen to the CAN line. The CAN line is okay. Then I'll plug in the second pin, and also the CAN line is okay. And I'll plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth pin, and you can see now the CAN line has gone haywire again. So
I'll search my wiring diagram and see why it's behaving that way. If what does that wire control or what controls that wire, then I'll know what to do.